It's oxygen we are outputting. You need a local radar down here, don't you? So that's a nice steel/iron setup. That's going to supply a lot to the network. Why is oxygen lacking that much? We should quite easily be able to do it. And the thing we are venting over here, is it because oxygen is actually keeping up now? Now it's the other thing that's full. It is. A better oxygen production than this one. It's only oxygen. Isn't. Then we'll just have to vent one of these to keep the other one going. Might actually be what we have to do. That's a bit annoying. Can't remember if there's another way. We'll probably have to check that out. Let's get one of you. That should start it just a bit. But otherwise this will just run all the time and produce power. Don't really want that. What other way can I limit you? Give me what I want. Can use hydrogen for anything. Gonna give me something I need. Probably not. Where you go? Can you use it 1-to-1? The hydrogen. Isn't it used for didn't think I could use it right away. Use a ton of plants. Oh, you can do it with coke. That's right. If you want to do that one. That is true. That is a way to do it. With nickel ore as well. Into syngas. But since I'm not using that much power yet, the orcs are pretty much using all of it, and that has priority over what's it called, the other power things. Well, for now, let's just, I don't like venting things, but let's just vent it in case we have a surplus. For now, and then we'll just kinda have to solve in the future. So it's not the most optimal situation. So let's get these hooked up. Electrolyzers they're called. Electrolysis. Yeah. But yeah, it is a good idea, Ian, to use it for the combustion engine. I'm just not using enough power yet, which is actually quite fun or funny. Science is still keeping up very nice. We were talking about uranium as well, so probably look at that at some point. That better plastic production. Yeah, I made the party island too effective. That is correct. It is way too good as is. Look at me. Photo mining. Is that mining from sunlight? I need some other thing. Let's get a bit more of these up and running. What is that? Looks like something I could make. Can I make this for as well? Another plant-like thing. should be easy enough to make. Let's get you. It's always nice getting more life and whatnot. Oh, battery as well. Would be cool getting what's it called, accumulators up and running, because if it gets accumulators, I can start to limit the AUG power, so they only run in case the other powers can't keep up. Look at that, all of this is running. You should be outputting to the chests and other things, so that's perfect. Overflow is working as well. So that's very good this way. So that is working. We're also looking at sulfur. We have the technology now. That just means we need a chemical plant. Then we can make the sulfur. Let's do that up here, since we already have sulfur production among other things. And there. Always remember to get down on local radar, just so we can see a bit. Just place you right there for now. Okay, that is good. Where is tree clearing thing? Go. Also move it over one. Oh yeah. Yeah, we have natural gas as well. We have that set up down here. Just a small amount from a small oil derrick. We can always increase it. But I think that's also used for a few things. But this one is at least a recipe we can't get. Oh wait, there is actually more recipes. Anything else that's good? Not really. This one seems, we could also do from the acid gas. Sulfur find. It's the same. Let's just take with this one for now. YouTube is quite far behind at the moment. I'm trying to figure out how to output episodes, because I've always been doing one episode per day, but I don't know how people react if I put out 3 or 4 of these once in a while per day if I'm getting too far ahead on streaming. Because I don't want to spam people, so I'm not quite sure how that affects people. But I'm thinking about maybe outputting a few just to get YouTube caught up. We have you first. You'll make sulfuric acid. Just need water in. That could be a way to do it, just to get some done. Let's see here. Or I could do so only have a few buffered up every time, because I don't want to be where I can't output an episode one day in case I output too many on the other days. That would annoy me a bit if I did something like that. Let's see here. If you go set you right there. So, then we'll get a few of you to output down this way. Let's give it 1, 2 below. That way we can just drag water down here. We can get the acid out into things. Let's get you down one more. Just leaving a small amount of room is always nice. That way we can have, let's check this with underground. We have 1 right here we can output to and from. We need 2 items in. I kind of want to do it. Oh, we need fast belts to make it run full speed. Get 1 out over here as well, like that. So that means there's 1, 2. Or we could do it in between. there might be an easier way to manage it. So what if we do something like this instead? 1, 2, of course don't need a passive one. Here, here, there, there. And take you and place you down here. Do that. Oh, not that. That won't work in case I want to expand it out. So that way we can input the iron and the sulfur. That'll give us our acid out. I'd like to get you into barrels first and foremost. There we are. And barrels out. That should be this one set up. That should be this set up here. Iron plates. Get 100, that's fine. Then we just need the sulfur and the other one. Let's get 100 of you as well. That should produce sulfuric acid for us. Bit of power. There and there to make it modular down. That goes up, and there is also sulfuric acid. Since we always expand out a few times when we do it, just to... oh, look at that. It just fits in. Perfect. So we have a bit of production going forward. There we are. That goes in. Could, in theory, just to make it look a bit better, do that. There we are. That should be a nice, simple sulfuric acid setup. That's going to serve us very well in the future. That goes. Do we use 4? Yeah, we need it for this one. Can't remember what we're needing it for anymore. But yeah, it's for the zinc, because we need it for that one. That was a byproduct of this setup. Now we just need some salt flow into this system. Because we didn't want to use this one. We don't use the labs, we want to do this. That's just a mixer giving us that and hydrogen chloride out. And that can go into the next ones, giving us more hydrogen chloride out. And 2 new products. Yeah. So let's just set that up. Maybe just right here. Mixer. Which one is done? You are done. That's fine. Please stop blinking. Means all of this is pretty much redundant now. This will just stay here until it's all used. Perfect. So mixers. We want to make pretty much this one. I want to mix this one. Oh wait, this one first. Or the second one we can make. What is that made in? Oh, also one in a high pressure. That was easy to do. High pressure. Please get a few delivered to my person. One more view. That way I have 2 of each. That should be fine in terms of getting a somewhat decent production up and running. There goes my high pressure ones. Good. So let's see. We need you. And we need you. Those will both output the hydrogen chloride we actually need. And then we have some other things that might be useful for different things in the future. Might as well take those as we can. Do you produce 1 every 4 seconds? You use 1 every 4 seconds. Nope, you use crafting speed a half. So one of these can supply 2 of these. So if we do pretty much that ratio, it should be fine, and any surplus will just be left behind. And all we need in is the sulfuric from over here. Please move to here for a second. Go. Sulfuric acid out. They will need a few of you. Need room for inputs as well and outputs. And let's do it here just to have a bit of room to work with. Always easier than cramming everything in too tightly. So that means we'll do like this for now, with an underground to the next place, and a bit of salt in. Fair enough, man. That was an extremely long stream, and it was a very nice stream. And you know what? Next week my vacation starts, so I'll try to see if I can do a lot more. Because I have a lot of catching up to do, and I'm enjoying it very much. So have fun at work, and I'll see you later. So we need salt. Just request that in. That'll be fine. We'll get our acid in from up here. Like 2 barrels in. Then we'll just have one that outputs this chlorine to be used for different things somewhere else. There we are. So please request some acid. It's going to give the acid here. It's going to give us sodium bisulfate. That is used for pretty much only one thing. This is used for quite a few more things. So should we do direct insertion on these ones? It might not be a bad idea to do it, since it's only used one place. Salt. Could move this in the middle instead then. We need 2 of you. What if we just do something like this? This seems somewhat in the middle, maybe over here. Then we could do long-handed inserters to pick it up and put into these 2. And not fly it around the base. So take you right there. You'll output into the middle as well. That is what I want. Something like this, maybe, or what about just doing that? We'll do jump from here, jump from here. That way we have all the hydrochloride stored up. Then we'll just need the output of the sodium bisulfate, or the sodium sulfate, into 2 chests. Could, in theory, just add 1 chest here at the top, where these just outputs into belts going this way. And into one of those, and just letting that run. until it's full, since it's the chlorine or hydrogen chloride we want. So how would this work in theory if we just added in a long hand inserted there and there? Wouldn't this work? Oh, we need the salt as well. Do you right here, there. Yeah, let's try something like this and see if we can't get something running somewhat decently. Let's give this a try. Let's see here. You are mixing. You are outputting. Needs a bit of salt. You are outputting to the chest up here. Oh wait, you're not. You need to be hooked up, of course. There we go. And that gives us our thing from to over here. So that's a few more things for our network. It should be a simple process. This uses 1 every 8 seconds. That's 1 every 4 seconds. This produces 1 every 4 seconds. Then we should also be able to just take this part and place it right there. That's enough, and do it one more time below. We're missing 1 mixer. Before we leave, let's just check if this works. We don't have to go back and check on this in a minute. One mixer, get done, please. Oh, we need to hook you up at least. I can see that much. You're getting the salt. You're getting the salt as well. You're working. Outputting to these. And that means that all of these are running, outputting to this one into the chest. Go away. Then we have a very nice setup for sodium sulfate and most importantly for our hydrogen chloride barrels. So nice little setup here that we can easily expand. So that was pretty much the last thing we needed to make our zinc chloride. We just need to add these two things together to get the chloride out. And luckily that is something we can do right here. That one. Perfect. So let's see. Zinc chloride, just a normal chemical plant. We should have some of those left if I didn't use them all. I didn't. Let's see. You'll need... Oh, we can also almost make the batteries. But zinc chloride. 1 fluid in. So pretty much just take you as a blueprint for where it needs to be. Take some hydrogen right out, then outputs down, and take a few of you. Check one of these for now. So there and there. With 1 in, 1 out. But do it over here or do it in between. Let's do it like this. It's way easier to manage. Oh yeah, let's not forget research. That is completely right. Let's set this up first, then we'll look at the research afterwards. And there we go. So 1, 2. And maybe limit you to let's say 500 for now. That goes in. Here is some barrels in. You will need some zinc plates in. This will output to here, limit to 500. And I can, in theory, just do this. Let's do 4 for now. I think underground might be a bit overkill to do here. There we go. So that is our zinc chloride out. That's going to get used down in our filtered carbon. If I put that one down right here. That means we now have filtered carbon as well. And that is also limited to our a bit less in supply. There we go. So this loop is finally finished. And we have active carbon done as well. That can be used for filtering a lot of the flue gas we have right now being produced at our molten factories. So maybe hooking that one up would not be a bad idea. We can also get sulfur and syngas quite easily this way. But that is a bit later. Ooh, a 1-to-1. Full bed gas. Full bed extractor. Let's make one just to see how it works. I haven't done this yet. And as Phil said, or as you said, Phil, let's look at some more research. Not quite sure what we need or what all this does, to be honest. But should be a few more things that we need. Ooh, chemical science might not be a bad idea just to get you research so we can use you. Also nice getting to the next science. Aluminium production, just so we have it. You seem quite cheap. Well, next light. And some nickel. There we go. That's a bit more production. And I kind of want to go towards the chemical science now. Is it only used for power? I thought there might be something else that it might be good for. Okay, then I don't need it just yet. But is it from, let's see, oil sand? What is it from? I'll probably say somewhere. Coal, underground coal deposits. Huh. Well, we'll probably figure that out in the future.